Hello, this is Jaymie White with Global Diversity News, bringing you another podcast. Bringing back one of my show's guests. Haven't had him on in a while. So Ray Hayes, thanks for returning.
Oh yeah, no problem. No problem at all.
Yeah. So, how have you been? Everything going great in Chicago?
As great as it's gonna be, to say the least. But I mean, everything's been good on my side. On my side of the waters, I can't complain. But like I said, everything is good as it's gonna be in Chicago.
Okay.
But look forward to the podcast today. I mean, with the election going on last night, it was kind of interesting. But I mean, hey,
Yep. And
let's push forward and let's move on. But
well,
yeah, that's definitely
and
good
with
to hear. I mean, good to hear from you though.
yeah, you too. With that being said, that is the topic of today's podcast, which is the presidential election, right? What else could we talk about? A couple of
Maybe
days.
Luke Cage, you know.
Luke Cage. I
Let's
mean,
let's last year's news, you know. But go ahead.
feels like last year's news, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, so today we're gonna just have a conversation about the presidential elections and kind of what took place, how we feel about it, and how it affects you know diverse businesses, small businesses, just the economy, if you will, in general. And by always, and as always, feel free to give feedback on and give your thoughts on some of the things we're discussing. So to
Okay.
start off, I'm gonna pass the ball to you, Ray, because you haven't been on in a while. But what were your initial thoughts when you found out Donald Trump is the 45th president of the United States?
My initial thoughts was like, wow, like is this really happening? I mean, the whole presidential election. I mean, the debates and everything that went on, the stories and all that. It seemed like a reality show. It was like, is this really happening? Is he really saying these things? Is she really doing these things? It seemed like an episode of The Simpsons or South Park or something. But to see him win, it was like, wow, like this is how people have chosen our fate thus far, so to say. But I mean, there's no reason. I wasn't like, okay, I'm crying or fearful. No, I mean, it was like, hey, he's the president. I mean, we have to work with what he gives us. I mean, there's no reason to be afraid of anything. Like people, I've seen people saying, "Oh, fear for their life or their children's lives." There's no need to be.
Yeah,
I
man. Just
mean,
just on that note, like they're like you just said, fearing for their lives. There are people who are taking this extremely personally and really thinking or feeling that a Donald Trump presidency means the end of America.
yeah, end of the world. I mean, it's it's kind of crazy, but I mean, it's not. I mean, yes, the Republicans have the House and Senate, but the Democrats have enough people in there to filibuster the same way they did President Obama.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they choose to do so, but hopefully everybody comes together, and maybe this will be a great presidency for Mr. Trump. I mean, you never know. We don't know what's going to happen. He didn't give us he didn't give us a full game plan of what he plans to do. So it's kind of like,
yeah,
who knows?
yeah. I
Like,
mean,
you know,
yeah, and for me, like my initial reaction was just shock. Not in a positive or negative way, but just a shock, like you said, a shock overall of like, wow, he's about to be president. Like a year from now, or in a year from now, a year ago, I did not expect Donald Trump to be president of the United States. Like I thought it was either going to be Hillary Clinton
right.
or Jeb Bush. But here we are, and that really shows the the capable what Americans are capable of because
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, for everybody who has for the conspiracy theorists out there who have said year like every presidential election, oh, it's rigged. oh, the Illuminati controls everything, like all that stuff pretty much goes out the window with this guy because there's
He even said it was rigged, though, Jaymie.
yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, if he didn't win, it was rigged. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, of
it's
course, yeah,
crazy, but go ahead.
yeah, but I mean, that's just his personality. But the fact that because I mean, there's absolutely, if you're an establishment and you're in
Mm-hmm.
power, like there's no reason why you would want Donald Trump in office. I mean, the media was against him. I mean, and he said some things that rightfully put some people against him. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not defending his actions, but I'm just stating what happened. And the media was against him. The Republican Party was against him. There were just numerous amounts of people who were just against this man, and yet he still won this election. And I mean, that just pretty much proves or disproves, that whole the presidential election is rigged. I mean, this pretty much proves it's not. Now you can say some other things, for example, the Van Jones comment on CNN about this being a white lashing. Like you can make that argument, but you can't say it's rigged. And for those who are not aware, I just want to say this real quick about the Van Jones comment. So essentially, what he said is that, and this is truth. Majority of Donald Trump's voters, were white. Poor class or lower class whites who, in Van Jones's opinion, kind of lashed out because they felt that that segment of the group felt that they were losing, power within America, and they felt that Donald Trump was a great representation of themselves and an opportunity to or assert the fleeting quote unquote power that they believe that they have. And yeah, he said some of it was pinpointed at having a black president. Some of it was pinpointed at the whole diversity pushes that's going on right now. But that's essentially what he said.
Could you also tie into the fact the movement of quote unquote power with the Black Lives Matter movement as well?
Yeah, you could. I mean, that all goes into it. So yeah, you could absolutely make that argument as to coincide with that in terms of why possibly white Americans kind of push this. The one thing that really resonates is the fact that when people were trying to explain what happened, they couldn't explain what happened. Like nobody could really explain why Donald Trump got elected, and it was really kind of just annoying me when you have like these Republicans saying, "Oh, see, I told you." Like, and the reason why he got elected is because people are fed up with the way America's being run and all that. Like, honestly, shut up, because you thought
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton was going to win too. Like
I mean, every poll had a winner except the poll out of the LA Times. I mean, they had Trump winning by a small margin all alone, but every other thing had Trump winning. So, I mean, you're right. I mean, nobody could have known what was to come. And a
yeah,
win in the matter in which he won, the states in which he won, it was like, come on, you couldn't have known that.
yeah. I mean, it's more than just they're mad at Obamacare. Like it's more than just they're mad at the economy, right? Like there are deeper issues at play than those
But you know what?
factors.
I was listening to talk show on Sirius XM today, and one of the co-talk show hosts brought up the fact that her manager voted for Trump because she stated that she's a small business owner, and he would look out for small business owners by changing the rules or regulations for the Obamacare or getting rid of Obamacare. She brought up the fact that, okay, because she had majority women working for her, let's say since she had 5 employees for all women, they all became pregnant at the same time, which could possibly happen.
Yeah.
She couldn't afford that big healthcare bill she would have to pay for all of them. She couldn't afford it, so they'll wipe her out. So she said she agreed with him in regards to him getting rid of Obama, the Affordable Health Care Act. That maybe sounds better. Get rid of that. So that's why she voted for him. She understood. Understood. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, was that her reason? Is that what she said? Like this is
Yes,
key.
yeah.
Well, that's
This
a
is
stupid
was
reason. That's a stupid reason, and here's why.
I mean,
Because well, no. Here, if that was her reason for voting, if that was the if that was the number one issue, like that's a stupid reason because Hillary Clinton already said that she was going to do things to adjust Obamacare because she hates the way it's working right now. Even her husband, Bill Clinton, uh, had a lot of issues with Obamacare. So she was going to put things in place to solve that as well. In fact, you can make the argument that she was more qualified for to put in a better place for healthcare because she actually laid out a plan that would solve issues like that, whereas Donald Trump has not. So if that was
okay,
her,
let me
yeah, if that's, I mean, if she said something else, like okay, that's fine. But if that was what she said, like verbatim, then
no,
no, that's a
that
dumb
was all
reason.
she said. I promise you, that was all. That was her main. From what the co-host said, that was her manager's main reason for voting for Trump, and which I agree with you. I mean, I mean, Hillary said the same exact thing. She was going to change some things around with Obamacare. So maybe it was hey, the lesser of two evils. I have more faith in Trump actually doing such a thing because he has no ties to President Obama.
I mean,
I
based
don't
off
know.
of
I mean,
what?
I'm
Yeah,
just saying.
yeah. But based off of what? Like,
I
I mean, like,
I don't know.
there's other things you can make the argument for Trump. Like, for example, if she would have said the whole like, he's going to reduce my taxes as a small business, which is true, I would have been like, that's fine, because Hillary Clinton is hasn't stated that she's going to cut taxes at the rate that Trump is. So if you would have said that, I'd be like, all right, that's fine, makes sense. But the
Yeah,
healthcare,
maybe, but let's say maybe she had that in mind too, and the lady didn't
and,
talk about it. I don't know.
and that's why I said if that was it, like that's a dumb reason because
Right.
they both had a platform to do it, and quite honestly, based off of experience, Hillary Clinton's more qualified to do it. Uh, but but yeah, let's not get too stuck in the weeds because I definitely want to talk about some other things. The biggest,
Hey, look, Jamie, real
yeah,
quick, Jamie, before you go on, wouldn't this? I was reading something online earlier today,
yeah,
and they brought up the fact of remember when the UK
Brexit,
passed
Brexit, yep,
Brexit. I'm sorry, Brexit. Remember they passed, and it was just total panic. Like, damn. I mean, like, did I really just vote for this?
yeah,
Like, not thinking of you base the fact that you're voting for Brexit off your soul emotions.
right,
You wanted something new. You were tired of immigrants taking your job, so to say.
right.
Could we describe the way the U.S. has been reacting to President-elect Donald Trump winning yesterday to similar to the
No,
Brexit? So Brexit, no,
no, not at all.
not at all. No
Nah, when
different
Brexit,
atmosphere.
yeah, so when Brexit happened, right? A lot of people said they were trying to make a statement to leave the EU, and they even did a poll afterwards. And basically, had they voted like a second time, Brexit wouldn't have won. And when you saw the outcry, a lot of the outcry in that instance was from people who had voted to leave the EU. Right? Those were the people who were like, "Crap, I made a terrible decision. What have I done to my country?"
Hmm.
For this Donald Trump situation, the only people who are having issues with the Donald Trump being elected are the people who didn't vote for him. The people who voted for him would vote for him again.
So what let's say this: give it a few months.
I mean, well,
Why a few months?
you can say that with
Well,
any an
you can't do
election.
that.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
say with any
you're right.
presidency. Like,
Let's throw that out the window then. Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, you could Obama, Bush, whatever. Like, like you could. So that's why it's not like we have to. So we're two black guys, right? So we have
Mhm.
black friends. So obviously, the perception that we're gonna get of like how America feels is going to be different than somebody in white America. I'm pretty sure they're dancing up and down the streets right now. Like I'm on Twitter
Yeah.
and like you know the liberals that I'm following, they're all talking about how America's going to end. The conservatives that I'm following are talking about how this is the greatest thing that America has ever done in the past 20 years. You know?
Yeah, and telling the liberals to stop crying,
Yeah, exactly.
suck it
Like
up.
Yeah, exactly. Like conservatives are like thrilled. Like they are loving life right now. They really feel like they sent a message to America and to the global, like, just the global countries of the world or whatever, that they've made a statement that America is changing and we're no longer about, the quote unquote political process, and we're not about, the BS. We're all about getting things done. And they are 100% proud of that. Like, as crazy as, like, your Facebook or my Facebook or Twitter has been blowing up, on the left side, like the right loves this. This is not Brexit. This is
Right.
this is America. Like, and
Right.
hey, it's wild because Hillary Clinton won the popular vote,
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
but at the same time she lost. And here's a stat I really want to throw out there: Donald Trump won 53% of the white women vote.
Crazy. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. You want to know why Hillary Clinton lost? If anybody's kind of sitting there, like, you want to blame Obama, and you want to blame the state of the economy, you want to blame black people didn't show up to the polls, whatever, minorities, and no. White women didn't believe in Hillary Clinton,
And
and
I know for me personally, I would have thought they would have voted in droves for Hillary Clinton.
yeah, you would have
Just because of,
you would
of
have
the
thought she
things
would have at
he
least got
said,
51. You would have thought she would have at least got 51%. But keep going.
something higher. But just based off the things he was saying, the quote unquote anti-feminist statements he's made, it was like, there's no way possible you're gonna see this many women voting for this man. But
Yeah, I mean
that
this.
goes to show that
Yeah, what?
people want to change.
Yeah,
It's crazy. Go ahead. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
and that has nothing to do with socioeconomic status either. This is 53% white women, period.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you know what? I mean, and that proves, and take this how you will, but that proves that in order to be elected president, those things don't matter, which is shocking. Like, let that sink in. Like, you can say grab her by the bleep, and women will vote for you.
Yeah,
I mean, and this
it's
isn't.
okay. It's
It's
okay.
okay. Yeah, no, you're right. It's okay. I mean, I'm not saying, like, I'm not saying this is right. I'm saying this is what happened.
Yeah,
This isn't a joke. This isn't me creating something. This isn't, like, like, we're not sitting here like making up stuff. Like, this is what happened. This is what that proves. So,
yeah,
I mean, and that's where we are as Americans. And you can make the argument that, hey, women just didn't believe in Hillary Clinton. They didn't believe in her policies. You can definitely make that argument as well. But then, then the argument becomes, was it because healthcare? Like, is that why? Like, because if
yeah.
it is, then that's not a good argument.
And the thing is, what policies did he lay out for you to go about believing it? Other than the few he did lay out, but Hillary gave more of a detailed plan than the guy you gave a chance to. That won the election. So it's just mind blowing. How there were there was no game plan laid out, a full game plan laid out.
Nope.
It was just based off promises. Hey, I'm going to get this done. How? How are you going to get this done?
I mean,
How are you going to? First off, how are you going to? What are you going to do once you appeal Obamacare? What's your next plan?
I mean, that's it. It's really going to come down to the people he puts in place over these different or the secretaries over different sections, like who's going to be the Secretary of Commerce and defense and all that stuff. It really comes down to how good is he at appointing people to run different
Cabinet members,
departments.
right?
That's really what it's
Mm-hmm.
going to come down to, because I mean, he has no experience. So We don't know what he's going to do.
Not whatsoever.
He's
Right.
it's funny you should talk about his platforms. He's notorious. He's a notorious flip flopper when it comes to platforms. So you can make the argument that he's going to do anything because at some point he's supported everything, right? So that's kind of where he
So
is. But
that's kind of where that fear kind of goes out the window. Because I mean, like you said, he flip flopped. One minute he has liberal beliefs, next minute he has very conservative beliefs.
yeah,
So it's kind of like
well, this is going to be
you
interesting.
don't know. It's just uncertainty.
Yeah,
It's uncertainty.
this is going to be interesting because I do believe that he did a lot of that flip flopping just to get votes, right?
I
If you
agree with you on that.
if you're on
Yeah.
both sides and you think he's on your side, you're gonna vote for him, right? Right, and that's what
Yeah.
happened. Now that he's gotten what he wants, now the question becomes: Can he actually? Can he follow through? Like, I'm very interested to see what he's gonna do with this wall. Although a part of me feels like what's gonna end up happening with this wall. I'm just gonna throw this out there, but what I see happening with that is he's gonna end up like putting some type of like penalties when it comes to like imports to Mexico, and then called it like a metaphorical wall that he's doing. So therefore,
That's a good idea.
Mexico's paying for the wall because every time they export, or yeah, every time they export into the United States, they have to pay us extra. That's how I kind of see that going. But
Mm.
so how high is
Good
it?
idea.
He didn't say. I mean, how high is it? How high is the price that he's going to do? But that's just kind of me. But yeah, I mean, he really has to figure out a way he has to figure out a way to do what he's to finish up all these promises. And in his defense, not all presidents can follow through on all their promises, man. Things change all the time. So
It,
he
even I don't know if you've seen it, but the ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union,
mhm.
have already said that if President-elect Donald Trump attempts to implement his unconstitutional campaign promises, we'll see him in court.
Oh yeah, like
So I mean,
the Muslim thing ain't
they're
happening.
already they're ready. Okay, if you're really trying to do these things, people and organizations are going to enact their civil liberties by suing him or doing whatever they can to block this stuff.
Yeah,
So it's
as they
not going to
should.
be easy.
As they should. Like like he wanted to put like the Star of David type like on Muslims. Like that's not happening.
No.
Yeah, like that ain't happening. I mean, he said some other stuff. Again, I think he did a lot of race baiting. I think that was more so Donald Trump, the entertainer. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and he's just kind of like doing that and that, which helped him get elected. I do think he's going to calm down because there's really no reason for him to entertain anymore. He's won. He's got exactly what he wants. So because of
I
that,
think he has to calm down. There's no other. He has to calm down.
yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah,
going to look like a crazy man if he doesn't.
yeah, like he
It's going
can't
to be a laughing
call
stock.
Vladimir Putin like Lil Putin, like like he called Lil
No,
Marco. Like he can't call him Lion Putin. Like like
no.
that's gonna that's a war. Like like you can't. So he can't really do that anymore. And I hope that he's a little bit smarter than that. Um, but hey, I know a lot of people are probably gonna hate me for this, but there are some positives to Donald Trump being elected president. Like there really are.
Please,
And,
please explain.
well, one of the biggest things is that he is an outsider, so he's not. Well, so there's a couple things. Number one is that he's an outsider, so he's not adhering. Although he got voted as a Republican president, he's not a Republican. So he's not. He doesn't have to adhere to any rules. So when Republicans say you should do this, he doesn't really have to listen. He can just do whatever he feels is going to make the country better. And I mean, what are they going to do? Are they going to they're going to screw him over politically? He doesn't care. They're going to screw him over in the media. He doesn't care. They're going to screw him over financially. They can't because he's a million. Like he doesn't care. So there's nothing that they can do that will take away. There's nothing they can threaten him with to take him away. Like even if Republicans say we're not going to support your favorite Republican in the New York area, Donald Trump doesn't care. He doesn't have like Like, so there's nothing they can threaten him with if he's trying to get stuff done. So that's actually really good. Probably one of the first, if not the first president that doesn't have ties like that. A second piece is that for our foreign adversaries out in the world, nobody knows what he's gonna do. Like, like nobody. China doesn't know what he's gonna do. Russia doesn't know what he's gonna
Right.
do. Like, so everybody, and I said this, when we were, not on, the podcast, but like that healthy dose of fear, right? That we have to respect him. I mean, he's the president of the the wealthiest nation in the world. So we have to respect
You have
him.
to play.
Yeah.
Got to play your cards right.
Yeah, exactly. Because, and you know that he has a temperament that if you piss him off, he will screw you over, even if it screws over his own country. So, I'm not saying I mean, that's a good thing because it presents that healthy dose of fear for our adversaries, which, quite frankly, President Obama didn't have.
But how does it work? It's good for the adversaries, but how does it work with our allies?
Um,
The
uh,
healthy dose of fear.
well, I didn't say I didn't say that was a positive, right? Because our allies don't know what's going on. That's a negative, right? So,
Right.
so since our allies don't know what's going on, they really don't know how to operate. Like, for example, Germany is extremely fearful on what Donald Trump can do because they don't know what he will do. I think France is another one that's like they're just really unsure on which way he's going, so they're just kind of like just waiting and seeing at this point. Which you don't want that with your allies, but our enemies. I mean, this is you know this is really good. And although, like, the whole Russia, I heard that like the Russians, they were celebrating when Donald Trump got elected. Like, they don't know. They don't know what he's gonna do.
No.
I have no clue. He doesn't know what he's gonna do. Like, like, so.
And then from what you're hearing, also, is he going to be president, or is it Mike Pence going to be president, and he's just the actual, I want to say, a puppet just going out there?
Well, so okay,
But Mike Pence is running everything. Well, I mean,
that's a great
that's what's
question.
floating around too.
Yeah, that's a great question. So remember, so a lot of people forget that George W. Bush, his first 4 years in office, Dick Cheney was really president, right? And that's not
Hmm.
me being a jerk. That's from, like, Dick Cheney's even said this, where he was like, my first 4 years, he basically took, like, whenever I gave George Bush advice, he probably took like 70, 80% of my advice. He was like, his next 4 years, like, he didn't really listen to me. Like, but he was like, those first four
Uh,
years, yeah, he was like, those first 4 years, yeah, man, like, to a certain extent, he did whatever I told him to do, you know. So
mhm.
I think that this is just going to be another situation where he's going to lean on Mike Pence for a lot of ideas and kind of a lot of how to run the company, how to run a government. I think Mike Pence is going to be very influential in that. He's going to have to be because as the former governor of Indiana, uh, so that will help him because I mean Mike Pence is smart. All right, like he's smart. So let's get that straight. He's also going to be able to lean on Paul Ryan, who also ran for vice president. So he also understands how that government works and what's necessary to make it run the right way. So he's going to have some people
But let me,
around him if he's willing to listen.
but I mean, he's going to have people around him, but then he's going to have people around him who may not even want to sit in the same room with him, just based off the things he said. So,
True, but that's with
granted,
every president, though. That's with every president.
yeah, but it seemed like he had, the perception. It seemed like he had way more than average. I mean, than the average president. I
I
mean,
mean, what world leader
just
isn't gonna want to sit with the U.S. with the president of the United States?
well, no, I'm not talking about as far as world leaders. I'm talking about Senate members who are Republicans or congressmen who are
I
Republicans
mean, that's all
who
talk.
disagree with them.
That's all talk.
Yeah, I mean, you think it's all talk? So there's
Absolutely.
nothing to it.
I'm 100% sure that's all talk. If I voted you and you're in Congress and you have an opportunity to meet with the president, you better meet with the president. All right. I don't care what your feelings are. I looked at you to be like, to represent my views. not your own.
Play your cards right. So you're
Yeah,
just playing your cards in.
yeah. I mean, like that. That's all. That's all politics. Whatever they said, in a lot of cases, people just said that so that they could get elected, right? I don't support. I don't support what Trump said. Whether they support it or not, they just said it because they wanted to get elected. Same with whenever
Right.
people attack President Obama over things like they. I'm pretty sure when Republicans attack Obama, they probably agree with some of the stuff Obama's doing, but they're just like, I'm not gonna say it in public, So they're just gonna say,
Yeah.
what he did was wrong, and I'll never meet with him. But yeah, I mean, especially when a new incoming president who, I mean, he hasn't done anything.
Mhm.
I mean, everybody says whatever they have to do to get elected, but like once they're elected, like you don't know what he's gonna do, and that's for Democrats and Republicans.
That's true.
And I mean, if you hate the fact that he like denigrated women, I mean, again, I point back to the 53% of women voted for him, or white women voted for him. So obviously they're okay with it. He still got elected.
Right. That's right.
So, but yeah, so
Small. I mean, not. I mean, you had not even women, but you had the belief that absolutely no minority, not a small amount of minority, would vote for him. However, that was proven wrong as well too.
well, yeah, I saw a couple of these numbers too. Like Hillary Clinton got 88% of the black vote. Like that's pretty huge, right?
Yeah.
Like not as much as Obama. I think not Obama was hitting like 91, 92s, but like
But that was. I mean, we were expecting in a 90 range though. I mean, 88 is damn near close to it. But I'm just saying, you expected her to get those same numbers as Obama, even in the places in like I think it was in Wayne, Michigan. The minority vote wasn't that. I mean, it was high for her, but
yeah,
it wasn't as high as when President Obama
true. But
coming to Michigan.
yeah, and I think that had
Go
everything.
ahead.
I think that had everything to do. This has more to do with Hillary Clinton not being able to get votes than it does with Donald Trump being this change agent.
And a lot of people were saying they have more trust in him to change the economy than her. That's what I've seen on CNN poll. I mean, majority of Americans trusted him more
Yeah, he ran
when
a
it came to
business.
fixing the economy.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, right.
as
I
they
mean,
should, as they
whole point.
should. Yeah, as they should. He's run a business like they try to attack him on that, but the fact is like he's created thousands of jobs,
Mm-hmm.
billions of dollars. Like he understands tax code. He understands how to get out of tax code. Like like he understands that. I honestly believe he understands that more than Hillary Clinton does. I honestly do that. In terms of like how a business is run, how it makes money, how to screw over taxes, because he's been doing it for years, or how to get out of taxes. So because of that, he can create something that will help businesses make more money and also not get out of paying their taxes. So I can agree with that as well. He does bring more to that, but for I mean for him it's just the biggest issue that's always been with him. It's never really been his business acumen. It's just been everything else, right? And I mean people the Trump University, people Trump water, people always are gonna like point to that and how he screwed over people and whatnot. But I mean when you're dealing with billion-dollar companies, I've said this once, I'll say this before. Name me a billion-dollar company that isn't being sued right now. Like look it up. Like every billion-dollar company in the world is being sued by somebody. So yeah. So when they were bringing up stuff about him getting sued, it's like okay, you can do that for anybody. Like literally, you find me. I guarantee you, Microsoft's getting sued. Like Bill Gates is getting sued by somebody. It is what it is. You have that much money, somebody's trying to get it. Somebody's trying to get it out of you. So
What about his upcoming court case? I mean, as far as the
you,
sexual allegations and all that stuff.
the sexual allegations. I mean, he's already admitted that he does it. So what do you mean? Like
I mean, how is that going to affect? I mean, his seat in office. I mean, that
nothing.
you know,
He's gonna pay him off, and then they'll probably take away
I
something from
think
him. Yeah, like
Or they just gonna hush it up? You think they'll
yeah, it's gonna be like Bill.
get washed
I mean,
out?
it's gonna be like Bill Clinton when Bill Clinton like they took away his ability to like practice law or something after like his court
Okay.
case came out. He'll lose something, but I mean, he'll still be president because
Okay.
as we know, presidents can get away with sexual assault. Not saying Bill Clinton sexually assaulted anyone, but
I mean, men with power
yeah, men with power can get away with sexual assault. Like
and men
men,
with privilege
yeah,
can get away with anything.
men with power can get elected president, even after sexually assaulting females. Like
Yeah.
so that's not
Key point.
yeah, so that's not really gonna matter. Like um,
Key point. Good. Good. Touche, Jaymie.
yeah, no, but I mean it is what it is. Like this is we have set some scary precedents by electing Trump. Like whether you think he's qualified or not, there have been some really bad precedents. You can do a lot of stuff now while running for president and still be elected. Uh, a lot of things that you shouldn't be able to do,
Yeah.
but you can
But
do them.
it sets an example. Hey, anything is possible.
Yeah, it is. But I do want to say this.
Anything. Go ahead.
I do want to say this, and I do think that this is going to happen. Years, not anytime soon, but years from now, is minorities always get attacked, right? So at some point, people are talking about how can't trust Catholics or whatever. Can't trust Italians, and that was help somebody get elected, and can't trust Muslims, and that helps somebody else get elected. Eventually, white people will be the minority. That's gonna happen.
Check. Eventually, what? Who's gonna be a minority?
White people will be the minority.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. I agree. Yeah.
And
By 2020. Well,
and eventually there's going to be a president that comes 50, 60 years from now who's going to everything that happened about Muslims, everything that happened about immigrants is going to fall
oh,
straight on because the precedent has been set. Well, it's been set like years before, but I mean, we've got the president that like you can say this segmented minority group is bad for America. Vote for me.
okay. I see. I get where you're coming from,
Yeah.
but would they a minority saying those things? Do you feel as though they will have enough power
Yeah, because we'll have
behind them?
majority. We'll have the majority at that point. Remember, I said
Okay,
50 years from
granted,
now.
you'll have it.
50.
You'll have it, but I mean, would you have that power, that wealth behind you to push you to give you a seat in office?
Absolutely.
I mean,
We're talking
yeah,
about as
we'll
president.
have
We're talking about as president.
huh?
We're talking about if you're running for president. Absolutely.
I'm just saying. Will
Because
they
what's
have
going to
people,
happen,
the minority, come
and
out and
again,
vote?
yeah, absolutely. Because what's going to happen is we're going to do the same thing. It's going to happen in America where the same thing with the immigrants is going to happen to white people when they're minorities, which is people are going to say they're going to be in the exact same situation you're talking about. They're going to feel hopeless. They're going to feel powerless, but they're also going to be 65% of America. And somebody's going to come out and somebody's going to remind them about these different elections and say, remember this election? Remember this election? We've been powerless for the past 500 or whatever years America has been in because of
My
white
voice gonna
people.
be heard now.
And now that we're 60%, this is what we should do. And they're going to win.
But I hope not.
Yeah, I hope
I
not
mean,
neither.
yeah, I hope not because I mean, granted, yeah, it happened. It's happening now. I mean, I hope people in general will have more sense and just more sane. I mean, sane individually
Yeah,
to not make this fear driven.
you'd hope.
Make a fear driven campaign like that, a racist campaign like that. I
Yeah,
mean, I hope not a sexist campaign,
yeah, you'd hope not.
bigotry. No,
You'd hope not,
yeah,
but
I hope not.
it's
But
going to
it's gonna
happen.
probably happen. I mean,
Yeah,
it can happen.
it's because
It
if
can happen.
I've been thinking about this when it comes to at some point every segmented group gets attacked, and they're the reason why somebody gets elected. Happened to black people, happened to Hispanics this year. Happened to Catholics, happened to Italians and Irish,
Jews.
happened to Jews. The only people that it really hasn't happened to on a big basis is like white people. in America, but that's because they've never been a minority. At some point, they're going to be a
Yeah,
minority.
it's inevitable now.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's gonna. I mean, just looking at it, I mean, it's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna use that because somebody who's there's the reason why it's probably gonna happen in like the next 50 years is because it's gonna be somebody who's like goes through this type of situation, right? Right.
Mhm.
So maybe not directly Donald Trump, but just the whole. It's all about hopelessness, and it's all about you can drive people to the polls through fear. And at some point, minorities are gonna be the majority.
Use that same fear
Yeah,
that you use against them,
yeah,
and use it on you.
yeah. I mean, that's.
How does that? That's kind of like, how does it feel now?
I mean, I don't want to take it there, but
Well,
it,
I'm just saying. I mean, that's what it be. I mean, you may not say it out loud, but it's kind of like,
and
okay, how does that feel?
yeah, because I mean, I'm going to throw this out there to you right now. Like, well, you know what? You don't have to
Mm-hmm.
answer this. But I'm just going to throw this out to like the listeners. If you've made it this far, we're like 30 minutes in. Like, I appreciate that. But if you made it this far, like, and you're a minority, um, and I said you can elect somebody who's only going to focus on making the lives of Black, Hispanic, and Asians, and and Middle Eastern people better, and that's it. Because that's what Donald Trump pretty much was running for. I'm just gonna make lives of white people better, right? He didn't really say it, but that's kind of like how he
How?
how people perceived it. Yeah, how people perceived it, right? So if somebody
Mm-hmm.
made something to where they made it perceived as in I'm only gonna make minority lives better, and you've got a majority, you're more than 50% of America. Are you gonna vote for him or her? Like I'm gonna let you think about that. Like, and all of his or her plans are going to be targeted specifically to benefit your lives, and that's it.
You don't sound right up. Yes, I mean,
I mean,
oh, definitely, yes. Oh, yeah, right now. I mean, definitely.
so that's
Bikers gonna be bikers for so and so, gymnasts for so and so,
gymnast.
swimmers for so and so.
That's
I
funny.
mean, everybody gonna be so and so. I mean, I'm with them, like definitely. But then, like, I mean, you gonna have that select few that the policies are not for. I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? No, I'm not digging this.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, so
I'm
that's
not.
that. If populations keep increasing like it is, I mean, that's just inevitable. Like there's only so many times Donald Trump can win, you know.
Yeah.
So and this is one of them. So, but yeah. So that's been going on for a little while now. But yeah, that's essentially conversation about presidential elections. I do want to end it by saying, and I know it may be hard for some people, not as hard for others, but I'd say give him a chance. As of today, he has made zero decisions as president of the United States. So we really don't know if he's a good or bad president.
And give them a chance. And if you do disagree, I mean,
Yeah, there are
you have
legal
the freedom to
options.
speak against this.
Yeah, there are
Yeah, I mean, you
legal
can.
options to voice your opinion and make things
Yeah,
happen. So, but
I'm not real quick. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but it's a bunch of anti Trump protests going on right now. Marching like downtown Chicago. There, you have people blocking off the expressway again,
see that.
marching. I mean, it's not just in Chicago too. There's a few other places. This is like literally taking place as we talk right now. They're in the streets, voicing their protesting, which is, I mean,
What are they
it's sad to say, it's
protesting?
not going to,
That he
yeah,
got elected?
but it's not going to do anything.
No, I mean
Yeah, that's
that's fine as long as
but
they keep it peaceful.
you should, like we said before, what are the steps going to be taken after you protest? But I
Well,
mean, let.
yeah,
I
for
mean,
this one, I kind of hope that's it. I don't really want.
but it's not. It's going to be another one.
I hope not because it's remember Democrats because I'm not a Democrat, but remember when you guys used to hate when in Congress Republicans would not do anything, like they wouldn't even come to the table to negotiate, and then
No,
nothing
that's
got
what they
done.
about to start doing.
Yeah,
That's
like
what's gonna happen.
remember when you hated that? Like
Yeah,
the
you hate it right now. I mean, with President Obama, I mean,
yeah,
it's kind of like
exactly. So don't
nothing's going to happen if you
yeah,
keep
like exactly. So
fighting against each other.
you can't take that stance. Like they did it, it was wrong. It really screwed up the nation. It really did. It really hurt our growth. Like we really don't know how good of a president Obama could have been had people really had come to the negotiating table. We will never know. His last 3 years, like we'll never know. So it is what it is, and some of that's on the leadership of Obama, and a lot of it, and the majority of it, is on Republicans in Congress refusing to come to the table and negotiate. With that being said, the answer to that is not to do the exact same thing. Um, you
Agreed.
got you can't, if you don't support him because of the things he said in the past, and you can never support him. That's one thing, but if you love America, then you have to look past that, and you have to give this man a chance, because he's a very rare candidate in that we just don't know. We don't know what he's going to do.
That's the fear.
Yeah,
The
it
fear is similar,
is.
like I mean,
But
like death, like death. You fear death because you don't know what's going to happen next. So,
yeah, that's true.
but
But I still say, like, give the man a chance, and if he starts doing things you don't like, absolutely, you protest, block whatever you have to do whatever that's legally, do what you have
and
to do.
accuracy,
But
you got to enact your civil liberties.
yeah,
Enact them.
exactly, enact your civil liberties. That's perfect. But until then, listen to President Obama and listen to Hillary Clinton. Peaceful transition and support them. And if you didn't like, the one thing I will say is everybody who's protesting better have voted. I'll say that much. Everybody
Yeah,
who protests against Trump better have voted. Um, because if they didn't, they have no reason to be in that protest. But hey, I mean, it is what it is. I'm going to be watching to see what he does. As of right now, Donald Trump has my support as president of the United States. He won it legally. He got more electoral votes. Let's see what he can do.
yeah, I agree. Let's see what he can do.
Hmm.
That's my feeling. I just want to see what he can do. I didn't want him to win, but it is what it is. I mean, can't do anything about it. But
Yeah,
hey, let's hopefully we can make some things happen.
yeah. Let's make America great. I think we're the democracy with the longest peaceful transition in the world.
Let's make it great, not great again.
Let's
Make
make
it
it great.
great.
I do. And one more thing, and then we're gonna have to take off. But "Make America Great Again" was actually stolen. Well, I'm not gonna say borrowed from Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan's
I
19.
believe it.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan's 1980 presidential uh, presidential what is it, run or whatever, was "Make America Great Again." That's hilarious.
Let's just hope he doesn't enact Reaganomics and all that
Yeah,
crap.
great for middle class, terrible for black people. But all right, that's pretty much it from Global Diversity News. Thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for checking us out. And as always, like, follow, subscribe. Thank you,
All
and
right.
have a good one.
Good evening, everybody.